Okay, so I've got set up here a little project to quickly show you a couple ways to sidechain. The first way that I've been doing for over 10 years that a friend showed me a long time ago, which is the most basic but simple, um, which is automatic response. So let's say one way I use it quite frequently is with kicks, snares, basses. So if I want to duck like an 808 um, with the kick to preserve the kicked frequencies and have that duck the 808 when the kick plays over the 808 automatically, there's this way. So see, the kicks are on channel 1, 808 is in channel 2. So the way to do this, the automatic way with free limiter, is you'll want to send, so you select the channel that you want to have sidechain a sound. So you want the kick to sidechain the 808, click here, send that, and then you want to reduce it so that none of the signal actually plays through the channel that you're routing into. And then here you're going to want to load up the limiter. Alright, so you have the limiter, and this is the limit function, ceiling, blah 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 blah, attack release, all that stuff. You want to go over to compression, and then you'll see right here the sidechain option. Now, depending how many sends you have routed in here, it'll have the number of sends, and then you'll just have to figure out which one is which. But if you're just doing one thing in, it's simple. You just move it up to 1. Alright? So you're not seeing it sidechain in action, but if we go over here to the sequencer, or the piano roll, but just for the sake of brevity and simplicity, we'll work with the sequencer. So let's just make a quick. For this, I'm going to write to MIDI. And for this sound, I'm going to crossfade it to make it, to be able to write it in MIDI better. A little glissando effect. And I'll reduce this so it has. So for this, I want the strike just to be able to do that. Otherwise, it's just looping in a tail section. Alright, so got a little pattern set up there. Now, go back to the limiter, and so this threshold, nothing's activating, but what this is the compression threshold. So this is essentially the level that it's going to duck it at, okay? And the knee is like a ratio curve of how much that's going to apply the ratio. So see, now that I'm upping the ratio here, we don't even need the knee. See, if I fully up the ratio, it's gonna duck it, and then you can adjust the threshold. But see, this is visually showing us how it's actually cutting through the signal to preserve that kick. The ratio, and then you can change the release, which is like the speed. See how it's faster on the release, so the signal is more preserved, but it's not as fully ducked. You can also do the attack, which is a little before the signal actually comes through. It'll pre-process it. And then the sustain is the duration. And again, you could go to the threshold. That's the base level, and the ratio of like how far it's applied. Now, some people really don't like the sound because it's what is it? It's just like it's too compressed, and it creates, I forget the term for it, but it's almost like this like on-off kind of like a pumping noise. So again, this is the older way of side chaining. It's just what I usually do. I haven't really taken up the new way, but I'm going to explore that here with you. This kick, I don't really like this kick, so I'll go something a little punchier. Let's just go 4 to the floor. Cool, yeah. I'll add a bit more distortion to this, just for fun here. Now again, whatever the signal is that you're putting through is what's going to render through it. So if you change the input sound, it will process differently through the limiter. A bit softer. You can use this to really get subtle effect. It can be nice to put on vocals. You can use it on percussion with a kick and a snare to duck it a little bit to create a bit more of an organic kind of spaciousness in the overall mix dynamic. You can also do it with vocals. You don't even have to do it with percussion. You could do it with more textural, harmonic, melodic elements. Like say for example you have like a certain lead and you want the lead to stand out, you can sidechain the lead through other channels so that the lead is more pronounced and has better response in the mix. So that's the first way. I'll disable that, and now I'll show you the second way, which is actually cooler. It takes a little bit more manual processing, but you can control it much better. So for this involves, the second way involves automation. So let's I'll separate this out, that bass. Let's put that in its own channel. Let's say you have a bass pattern in your own channel, right? Okay. I think a little too fine. Just go basic step. Cool. All right. So you got your bass here, and then you have the first one. I'll add a snare just to keep it interesting. All right, so no more side chaining. Now they might be interfering in the mix a little bit. It doesn't sound bad. It's able to process, so it really just depends what you want to go for. But anyways, this manual way now, which I think is cooler, has to do just with automating the volume and using automation clips that you can play in the sequencer or the playlist. So let's say this channel 2, create an automation track. All right, so we got our automation track, and let's say you want to have it just for every kick, right? All right, so you can take this here. Now I want to zoom in so you can carve this, and do this automatically. And you could do lots of cool stuff with volume automation overall for cool dynamics. So now, if we go over here, you'll see that the 808 channel, but you have to bear in mind that 100% on the volume is not equivalent to 100% on that. I believe 75% is 100% on the mixer channel. So depends what you want to level it at. So let's just do it there, close enough. So you see how this way you can make it a little bit more dramatic. It's kind of cool. Another way you could do it, another way you could do it is just to have it trigger. So this is 4 beats with this automation thing. Let's clear that, and I can have it trigger twice. See how it didn't even play because it's overlapping, but now if I keep it to each kick. So this is the, and you can really curve it and change the curve in here through the sequencer. I've never done it this way, but I'm going to start doing it this way. You could even double it if you want. Dope. So another way, I want to just show you then what I've oftentimes will do in all of my tracks. So you have some melodic element, right? Currently I've got this, oh sorry, my sound is going through the mic too. That's probably pretty terrible. Put that up to 3. Alright, so put this in its own mixer track. Go to kick, quickly send that, select limiter, go into compression, sidechain it, wham bam shabam, 10 seconds. Alright, so there you go, a little dinky example of a couple ways to sidechain. If you want to learn more, there's more skilled professional people who have much more experience and knowledge and nuance on the subject. So, sweet! Alright, ending.